Most speakers never scale past 6 figures a year in speaking revenue because they cannot hire or lead team. As such, they stay trapped as solopreneurs, personally handling everything inside their speaking business, unable to grow their speaking solopreneurship into a real, actual, self-sustaining business. What's going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Speaker Scale, where we help stuck speakers build predictable speaking revenue engines through proven business systems and processes. And today I'm breaking down exactly when and how to hire your first team members as a professional speaker, the order of the hires, the systems that you need in place before you hire, and the leadership principles that make or break your success when it comes to hiring and ultimately scaling your speaking business and operation beyond just yourself. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to be revealing the single biggest mistake that we see speakers make when making their first hire that often costs them thousands of dollars and sets them back months in taking their business to the next level. Now, when we work with speakers who are ready to scale, what we call actual scalable speakers, our commander's intent in working with them is very, very simple. Get you as the speaker operating exclusively inside of your zone of genius with a small, lean team that is running everything else profitably. Now, I want you to first start with when you're actually ready to hire. There's really 3 conditions that we look at before we recommend that any speaker hires. The first is that you're generating anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 per year annually as a speaker. If you're not there yet on your own, you need to get there on your own. The second is that you're not only producing this revenue, but you're producing it in a predictable manner, and you have proven, documented systems and processes for marketing and converting paid speaking leads. If you don't have a proven lead generation or marketing system yet, you have to have that in place or you're hiring for the wrong things. And the third piece that you need to have in place is that things are actively breaking because you cannot handle the volume alone. If you're doing 100, 125, 150K a year and you're fine, you're doing 10, 15K gigs a year and you're totally fine and can handle it, don't hire yet, right? Things need to be actively breaking for it to make sense for you to hire. Now let's break down the order of hires that you should be making. So I'm gonna pop over here to my iPad. The first person that you should be hiring inside of your business once you're at 100, 150K per year, again, in a predictable manner, you have a proven marketing and lead generation system that converts paid opportunities and speaking gigs. The first hire you wanna make is for what we call a lead gen specialist. This lead gen specialist is meant to take over all of the activities that you are doing to produce opportunities, all the cold outbound opportunities that you are doing to get calls onto the calendar, to get positive responses, leads into your pipeline, and then you're picking it up as a salesperson and taking it to close. So lead gen specialist is something that we can hire. We're probably gonna go overseas for it. It's gonna be around $1,000 to $2,000 per month, depending on who you're getting, the quality of them, and what you're paying them, and how much you have them working for, whether it's part-time, full-time or not. And they're going to be handling the researching of opportunities. You're going to give them a clear qualifying document so that they're getting you quality opportunities. They're going to be qualifying, and they're going to be doing the initial outreach, and they're going to be doing the follow-up to generate positive responses and to generate qualified sales opportunities. And so essentially, if we pop over here and look at the high-level funnel, the speaker sales funnel, your lead gen specialist is going to be up here handling all this stuff. This will be brand and the stuff that you're doing and you'll always be in the brand building. But the lead gen specialist is going to be up there handling all of the outbound activities, researching, qualifying, doing the outreach, and following up. The second hire that you want to make at this stage is a part-time admin coordinator, part-time fulfillment / admin coordinator. This person is meant to pop in once you start generating more deals. You're probably at 200K, 250K per year. You are starting to generate more deals. You're on the road more, and you're still in the sales portion of things, but you want to basically get yourself to the point where you've kind of meshed yourself in between. So what you're gonna do if we pop over here is you have the lead gen specialist. You're still going to be in the sales role. And so you're still going to be the sales agent, taking things all the way down to close. Where the part-time admin coordinator comes in is as deals come down here and eventually close, this is where that admin coordinator is going to come in and basically handle everything from a logistics perspective. So travel, paperwork, invoicing, collecting payments, all that sort of fulfillment admin work that needs to happen before a deal, sending your marketing materials over, coordinating with the client in terms of logistics and admin type duties. So that's going to be the second hire. Now, the third hire we're looking to make at this point is going to be a sales rep. So at this point, you're going to hire a sales agent. They are going to be on a small base plus commission. If you can find someone who's going to work fully on commission, even better. This can be someone who's already working at an organization. This can be a bureau rep, someone like that. You can go exclusive at this point. I wouldn't. I would take this internally. I would hire someone who has experience representing other speakers. I would put them on a small base of $1,000, $2,000 a month, plus heavily commissioned on deals. You're probably doing around 350K per year, and this person is meant to be responsible for everything from a sales perspective. So the lead gen specialist is bringing in deals from cold outbound. You're getting more inbound deals and repeat business and that stuff from your brand. And the sales agent is basically taking everything all the way to close. And so you have the part-time admin coordinator, you have the lead gen, and at this point, you're basically outsourced everything. You've outsourced lead gen, you've outsourced everything that you don't want to be doing. You've outsourced lead gen, you've outsourced the sales portion of things, running deals, following up, managing the pipeline, and you've outsourced the admin side of things and the logistical pieces. And so at this point, what happens is basically your duties become threefold. Your focus becomes only on the areas that we call your zone of genius. And so your zone of genius is a couple areas. One is going to be actually speaking, obviously. Number two is going to be brand / thought leadership. So you're going to be doing brand activities. You're going to be still creating content. You're going to be going on podcasts. You're going to be writing books. You're going to be doing anything that enhances the brand, which will in turn help your team drive more leads, drive more opportunities, allow you to raise the fee. And then finally, leading / being a CEO. These are the activities you really can't get yourself out of as a speaker, but where you want to be and where you should be anyways. And these are the three hires that are going to get you there as quickly as possible. Now, this sequence is incredibly important, and it matters a lot because lead generation feeds everything else. If you don't have lead generation, if you don't have quality leads, you can't hire an admin coordinator because you're not bottlenecked there. And it doesn't make sense to hire a sales agent. You don't have enough opportunities for them. Now, what I want to do now is actually pop over and talk about some core hiring principles. When we're looking at hiring principles and hiring folks, there's a couple different things that I like to keep in mind. The first is that I always want to be preparing for overhead. Your expenses are going to increase before revenue does, and budget accordingly. So we're getting to the point where we want to increase ad spend. We want to double our ad spend in a month from $1,000 to $2,000 a month, right? I need to now budget an additional $1,000 per month for that added ad spend. So before we increase ads, we are getting tight with money. We're not getting tight with it, but we're saving money and putting in so we have at least, I always like to keep 3 to 6 months of business overhead. So we need to add $3,000 to $6,000 before we up the ad spend and double the ad spend from $1,000 to $2,000. If it was $2,000 to $4,000, I would need to save $6,000 for the 3 months to account for that, or $12,000 to account for the 6 months of overhead. So incredibly important to prepare for the overhead, and that's probably one of the most important things that we see is they don't prepare for the overhead, and then you're scrambling. And I've done that before. I was living with a month overhead, and cash would come in, and we pay people, and it's just sketchy. So you always want to prepare for overhead, have 3 to 6 months of expenses in place. Number two is that you lead your team through proven systems. Never hire someone to figure things out. They are going to execute the systems that you have already validated. So we see speakers make this mistake all the time. They don't want to do lead gen. They don't want to go through the hard process of building out a proven system and process. They don't want to understand the principles, and they say, I'll just hire a VA for $1,000, $2,000 a month. 3 months later, they've gotten no positive responses. They've gotten no booked calls. If they have, they're unqualified, and they fire the VA and they're out, $3,000 to $6,000, and they blame the VA and the VA sucks. That's not the issue. The issue is you hired them into a process and a system that was not validated. And understanding that your ability to fix and optimize their systems is critical. Things are going to break. Lead gen's going to slow down, and you need to get in there, diagnose, and improve the process, not just blame the person and the individual because they're the one that's meant to work the system and optimize the process. The third piece is that weekly huddles are non-negotiable. You need alignment and accountability to happen in your consistent check-ins. So all of our team members, we have weekly huddles. We have 2 weekly team huddles. We're looking at numbers. We're looking at weekly scorecards to make sure that everyone's up to date. And if they're not and numbers are off, we're diagnosing and seeing what needs to be done to improve that. Knowing the difference here between leadership and management is important. You're building leaders who own outcomes, not managing tasks. So as you work more with people, you're saying, hey, here's the outcome that I want. Whatever you need to do to get there, you need from me, I'm here to support you, versus do these tasks and not attach to any outcomes. So hiring is the only path really to scaling beyond yourself as a speaker. And the key isn't just hiring, it's having the bulletproof systems in place first so your team can execute while you focus on speaking, creating, and leading, and you can do that peacefully because you know they have everything else handled. We've created a complete video breakdown on how to build any system inside your speaking business. I'm gonna loop that below. And if you are a speaker who've watched this video and you're ready to scale beyond being a solopreneur, you're already doing 100, 150, 200K plus per year, you have some of these proven systems and processes and help, but you need help building the systems that make hiring and building team actually work, let's connect. Go ahead, click the button below. It'll take you to our website. You can book a strategy session, 15 minutes with me or one of my team members. We'll chat a little bit more, understand where you're at, and see if we're a good fit to help you build a team that grows your speaking revenue engine. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you soon.